So the first thing we're going to do is find a template we like. You can type in CD cover and hit enter. And it'll bring up all of these designs. Anything that has a crown is going to be a pro account. I'm going to look for something that is free. Let's go ahead with this one. I'm going to click on it. And then we're going to go ahead and customize this template. Now, most of these album covers are 1400 pixels by 1400 pixels. This is pretty standard for CD Baby and some of the other ones. Soundcloud asks for 800 by 800 pixels, but says you can upload a file that's bigger as long as it's under 2 megabytes, which this is going to be. So let's go ahead and customize this. We're going to go ahead and do the font and the colors first. So I'm going to click on this once, and it brings up all of these different options on top. I'm going to go ahead and change the font. So we'll click here. You can go through and look for a different font that you like. Source Sans Pro is one of my brand fonts, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to regular. And if you have Canva Pro, you can save your brand fonts and colors. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with this one. Okay, now let's go ahead and change the color. So I'm going to click on this background and we get a color icon. Again, you can upload your brand kit. Go ahead and choose something from that. And let's go ahead and choose a different image. Now we can come over to Elements and add some things in. I'm going to go to Uploads and see what I've uploaded from a previous image. So if you have an image that you know you want to use, you can go ahead and upload your own content. So let's go ahead and we'll just put this chicken mug that I recently turned into a thing. All right, so I dragged it over into the bounding box, and there we go. So let's pretend this is pretty much done. I'm going to double click on the text, change it. Now, there's some other things you can do. This is pretty wide. So if I come to the spacing tab, I think we'll just make it a little less stretchy. We'll do the same thing here. Let's make it match. The other one was 311, so we'll make that match. And a few other things. You can center align, bold, change the color, change the size, change the italic, make something a bullet, and there's some effects on here as well. You can duplicate an item, erase an item, and of course, there's more options if you click on the 3 dots. So let's say we're done with this. We're going to go ahead and share, and we're going to go to download. Now, most of these platforms require RGB, which is digital, because if you're uploading it to a digital platform, that's best. The CMYK is for printing, and of course you have to have a professional account for that as well. And just to make sure this isn't going to be too big, under that 2 megabyte limit, we're going to go for a JPEG. If you have a pro account, you can size this larger. You can also change the quality, but for these digital platforms, this actually is going to be just fine. So we're going to go ahead and download. It'll take a minute. Now, let's go ahead and put a title in there and save it to the desktop. And now we have our image, and it's JPEG, it's ready to go. One tip is, if you do have a pro account, is there's this button called Magic Switch, and you actually can take this and resize it into an Instagram story. You can resize it from 1400 to 1400 pixels to 3000 by 3000 pixels to 800 by 800 pixels if you want to get specific with your sizing. And of course, you can resize it for custom other social media platforms and so on and so forth. So one quick pro tip, if you want to resize this on the free account or do a custom design, we can go back to the home page, do Create Design, and you can do a custom size. So let's say we want to make this a little bigger and we have a free account, so we can't do the magic resize. Or maybe you just want to create your own custom design. I'm going to create a blank square. So this is ready to go. You of course can drag in some templates from the left-hand side. You can put your own artwork in here. I'm going to go back and grab these elements. So I'm going to highlight all of this. Do Command C to copy it. Now remember, this template's 1400 by 1400 and this one's a little bigger. So I'm going to do Command V to paste it. And I'm going to drag it to resize it. And then I'm actually going to hit the Shift key, Command Z to undo. I'm going to hit the Shift and Option key together. And that is going to resize everything all the way to the edges. So Shift Option, I'm holding down the Shift Option key at the same time and dragging those corners. Now, we didn't capture that background, so I'm going to copy that, Command C, Command V to paste, and there we go. So I've just resized it from 1400 to 1400. It's got a little off center there, and pasted it and resized it into something that is 1920 by 1920. That's one way to resize your artwork without the magic switch, and it's also just a way to start a brand new canvas at a specific size.